Scion. On the side of the car, it said Corolla, Corolla, and on the rear bumper, it said Corolla, Caro. So my name was spelled incorrectly and differently on the same commemorative car that was given to me. That's pretty good, right?
It's not like you got a 13-syllable European or Russian name or something like that. It doesn't seem that hard. Adam, let's talk about what you're going to be doing in Winnipeg. We'll talk about your career in a second, but November 30th, the Burton Cummins Theatre will be packed. Your only Canadian date on the tour. What will you be doing when you come to Peg City?
He's talking about jet fuel and just how dangerous it can be, which is coincidentally what I was going to talk about. Now it's really going to dovetail nicely with what happened the other night. I always spoke about Jet A for the first 20 minutes and the refining of it, and now, finally, people who will listen. I will do a one-man show meets a stand-up show meets a PowerPoint presentation like you've never seen before, and it's no opener and no middle, as they say, just a good 95 minutes of moi.
Adam, are you friends with Jay Moore?
Yeah, I would call myself friends. Or I don't know, I need some sort of Hollywood version of Friends, which is friendly with Jay Moore.
Oh, just friendly. Okay, I just thought with the Jay Moore and with the Jim Rome and the Sklar Brothers stuff, maybe you were a little thicker. Jay Moore has been a frequent guest on our program and actually is. He has set the bar for all comedians on this program. He
farted into the microphone.
And tried to convince my partner, Hustler, to take his clothes off at Radio Row on Super Bowl, and he would stay on the show for an hour if Hustler would take his shirt off.
Hustler, what do you look like?
He's beautiful.
With shirt off.
He's beautiful.
Ripped like a bag of milk.
Yeah, I like Jay a lot. I mean, Jay's super funny, and what's not to like about him? He goes into a Tracy Morgan voice that knocks your socks off. He's, whip smart. He knows a ton about sports. Like, he's just he is kind of he is the real deal. There's not a lot of comedians that are the real deal, so to speak, and can just roll like he rolls, and he's one of the handful of guys that can do that.
We have kind of a bio here of you, and it says that you were a very good athlete who played high school football at North Hollywood High School. Now, what does that mean?
Mean streets.
Is North Hollywood is that a football factory in L.A. or is that like the school from 90210? Help us out.
No, not a football factory.
We're not trying to diss you, Adam.
Yeah, just a big public school in the San Fernando Valley in L.A., which is people need to realize. See, people think people don't realize that North Hollywood has nothing to do with Hollywood. It's zero Hollywood. There's no celebrities. There's no celebrity lives in North Hollywood. Hell, no, celebrities don't even live in Hollywood. They just work there, So this is very just sort of blue collar and humble. And in North Hollywood, I mean, it's a part of the world where a lot of guys like John Elway and people like that came from. I played, against Darryl Strawberry, like when I played baseball and stuff. That. The place was sort of a cradle of athletics. I mean, there's a lot of good players that came from that area of California, but North Hollywood High was no. Well, I could name a couple of high schools, but you probably wouldn't know them because you guys play on that field with no end zone. Who decided there should be no end zone in that Canadian football?
Well, there is. It's just about 5 times as big as the one you guys use.
Why? Why should that thing keep going? I feel like I like certain things about the Canadian football, but why that end zone? It's bothersome to me. Like,
it makes for great lot of options in the red zone.
Well, that's true, and I mean it makes for a lot of scoring, and I guess like the Hail Mary stuff is wide open because you can just keep going, right?
It's the clock that is really interesting in the Canadian Football League. In the final 3 minutes of a game, you have the average possessions per team. It's a total of, there could be 15 possessions in the final 3 minutes, back and forth. So like 7 per team. It's it goes back and forth quite a bit.
Really? I didn't know about that part. I'm now interested in
Hustler's
Canadian
making
football.
a crazy look on his
15
face.
possessions in 3 minutes?
Came from Tim Burke's mouth just 2 days ago.
That's one possession every 12 seconds.
Wow,
Really
that's pretty good.
That is wrong. I'm just going to call him out right now on that. Adam, you're a big football guy, though, and you've been preaching for years that you need to extend the uprights. Did you see that Sunday night or 2 weeks ago with the Pats and Ravens?
I know, and that decided the football game, so we're all talking about it. But what people forget about is the very first quarter of the first game of the year, the Washington Redskins kicker booted it right over the upright. It happens all the time. I've always said, and then what happened is we were going to have this conversation, and then the Packers play happened in the corner, of the end zone on the Hail Mary with the Seattle game the next day, and then everyone forgot about the whole uprights thing. The discussion turned to getting the full-time officials back. But all we have to do is take thin-walled steel that's about 5 inches wide and weld it onto the post and extend the post 6 feet, and we'll retrofit every stadium for one trip to Home Depot and a scissor lift and a welding rig, and that's it. Like, there's nothing. You could do every stadium for under $1,000. I don't get why we're not doing it. These sidewinders have way too much leg for the height of the goalpost. You raised it once already. Now raise it again.
Adam, I have a feeling that this was rooted in losing a wager, possibly with Jimmy Kimmel, one of the other guys, based on a call that you disputed on a final field goal.
Interesting. No, this is just because I'm a humanitarian and I love the game. But and I don't bet on football anymore because all I do is lose. And I did that last year, and I didn't want to bet. And Jimmy Kimmel called me, and he called me on like a Friday, and he said, Who do you like in the Super Bowl? And he had his cousin Sal, who makes a little book, on the other line. I said, I don't like anyone. I'm not betting. I've lost every football bet I've made over the last 4 years. I've lost, and I'm not losing again. So I'm not betting on this year's Super Bowl. And Jimmy said, you have to bet. And I said, why do I have to bet? And he said, because we need to know who to bet on. And we always bet the opposite of you. And without you betting, we won't know who to bet on. So tell me who you're betting on and make a bet with my cousin Sal, and then we'll get to betting against you, and so we can all win. And I said, fine, I'll take the Pats. And that was my last bet. And I can probably make it through again to the Super Bowl this year, but Jimmy will call, and he will want to know. And the problem is I have a lot of Patriots fan friends. So if the Pats make it into the Super Bowl this year, they're all going to beg me. And this year, I'm going to say, what's it worth to you? What's it worth for me not to jinx your team? How big a Pats fan are you?
Adam Carolla is our guest. And Adam, before we let you go, you mentioned Jimmy Kimmel. Of course, we love what you guys did together in the Man Show. I was surprised to find out that you actually met him, training him for a celebrity boxing match. But I will ask you, you went on Jimmy Kimmel Live last year during the NHL playoffs, dressed in full LA Kings gear, helmet and all. How are you handling this NHL lockout? Or is anyone in Southern California even aware that there is a lockout right now and the NHL is not playing?
This town is buzzing about the NHL lockout almost as much as they're buzzing about that jet fuel fire in Winnipeg. It's probably about tied. I swear to God, I care so little about hockey that I didn't even know. I'd heard lockout. Nobody knows, nobody cares. It's never come up with anyone I know. And I'm living in the town of the team that just won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, Stanley
right?
Cup champions, actually.
Yeah. Now, nobody cares. Nobody cares about it. Look, you understand, people don't even speak English in L.A. Forget about caring about hockey. It's hard to find people. Look, if I hung up this phone right now and I just randomly dialed a number that had a LA prefix for it. Whoever picked up wouldn't speak English.
The over-under on English speakers is probably about 3.5 calls.
It's pretty interesting because if we just did it, we would not find someone go. You know, there wouldn't be someone who picked up the phone and went, "Hello, what can I do you for?"
Adam Carolla is our guest. Adam, he's going to be here in Winnipeg, Burton Cummings Theater, Friday, November 30th. Tickets are on sale right now at Ticketmaster. And Adam, of course, you have your incredibly popular podcast as well. For folks that haven't checked it out, where can they find it?
You just go to adamcarolla.com. You can go to iTunes, and you can subscribe for free. Great
to have you on the show, my friend. This was lots of fun. We'll hopefully catch up when you're in the Peg at the end of November.
Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Great stuff. Adam Carolla, live on Hustler and Lawless. We went way long there, folks, but we're having some fun. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will have an update on the Buck Pierce situation.